Hi, welcome back to Cam Tech. My name is Kyle, and today we're going to be going over why I switched from Windows to Linux and why you guys should too. So, there is a few reasons why I switched from Windows to Linux. One of the big ones is I was kind of using it already in my schooling and for certifications like LPI Linux Essentials, like Pentest Plus uses some Linux in it. I was kind of using it already for that, and I kind of wanted to get a better understanding of how it works and get a lot more comfortable with it that you would, or like the same comfortability that I had with like Mac OS or Windows already. Another reason is Windows, especially Windows 11, has been pushing kind of a lot of, how do I word this, like Microsoft slop, I guess you can call it. So forcing you, pushing OneDrive on you, forcing you to have Edge, um, forcing ads on you, and just in your search, forcing all of your searches to be a Google search. Search is just not working in general. Uh, so those were kind of the main things that pushed me towards at least searching for another solution other than Windows. I use macOS a lot, and that was also a main consideration. But I had some worries about um, gaming. That was kind of my biggest worry because I have tried to play games on Mac OS like Minecraft, and even with Minecraft, it doesn't perform. It performs fine for what for what I play, unless I'm playing like a modded pack. But there's some like weird characteristics, like with the mouse, with like using a mouse in games. It kind of messes up if you scroll too, or if you move the mouse too far away. It it starts showing the mouse icon, but it's still like moving in the game, and there's some weird things there. Um, but so that's why I decided to use Linux. I've been using Kali Linux a lot with work, or not. Sorry, not with work. I've been using it a lot with like schooling, certifications, that type of thing, and that's been kind of going great. And that was kind of like my first big exposure to it because I was using it for a few hours at a time in a VM. Then previously for a Linux class, I started using Pop! OS for a bit, and Pop! OS was great, but there's a few weird things about Pop! OS, and that's probably in 2022, so about 4 years ago, and I've been hearing things online from like other creators like Network Chuck, Linus Tech Tips, that gaming and general use of Linux has gotten a lot better than it was even 3-4 years ago. Um, Another main thing why I wanted to switch over is because I work at an MSP. We mostly do, we're a Windows shop, Windows/Microsoft shop. So we do Active Directory, Microsoft 365, Entra ID. So, and I'm already supporting Windows environments and use it for work constantly. Um, so I kind of wanted that separation from work and my personal life, even though, especially if you work in tech or IT, your personal life and work kind of mush together quite a bit. Because in your personal time, you're either you have to continue your education in some form, whether that be certifications or like more schooling or just general labbing on your own. Um, but I already use Windows a lot, and I kind of don't want to use it much any more than I have to, if that makes sense. That's why I switched. And if you're already working in IT, cybersecurity, or any form of tech, and you use Microsoft already, you should kind of understand where I'm coming from. That you're kind of forced to use it unless you work in an environment that allows MacBooks for daily use. Generally, you're not going to see Linux being used as a regular desktop at all. Maybe if you work in like the semiconductor industry, you might be using it to like run labs or using to run tests. But other than that, you're not going to be using Linux day to day unless you're like a server admin or a network administrator and you're using Linux Linux servers there. Um, so that's why I kind of wanted to switch off, and Linux today has gone really good. Um, Even just installing it and the like usability of it has gone so much better, even in just the past couple years. Um, I started using, I switched fully from all my home systems to all my Windows home systems to Linux around a couple months ago now, probably 1 or 2 months ago, and I don't plan on ever switching back, at least in my own personal uses of it. I personally switched to CachyOS, and that has been fantastic. It's built off of Arch, um, so even just as a, just knowing what's installed on your system and what type of things is installed and what you're updating specifically, having that kind of peace of mind is great, especially if you do run into an issue. So let's say I install something, then performance starts tanking on my machine. It's going to be that one thing I installed. There's going to be no background processes installing things or letting things get in that I didn't necessarily let in myself. And that peace of mind is very comforting, at least for me, and part of the reason why I switched over. Um, but the main point is Microsoft kind of pushed me over the edge, not to get real funny about it, with using their like software, like of course Edge, OneDrive, etc. Um, Linux has also kind of made me better in my work life as well, even though it may not have seen, even though I do use Windows in my work life. It's kind of made me a more like keyboard centric rather than mouse and keyboard centric type of computer user, which has been great and making things a million times more efficient than just navigating a GUI. Being able to pull up shortcuts to pull up the GUIs I either want to, or just being able to type and doing it in command line has been an incredible time saver and has been fantastic, not having to go down through layers and layers of settings just to get to the one I want. Then, even just look-wise, with Windows you can install things to make it look better or make it look different, but at the end of the day, it's still going to look like Windows and be Windows. Linux, I could customize it however and whenever I want, no matter what. And that's something that kind of drew me to it. Like I can do a lot of things I did in Windows plus more. It's made my personal life using computers a lot more, both less stressful, and it just made me appreciate what I'm using more. Also, gaming on Linux has gone fantastic. Once I started working full-time in IT, I stopped playing games a lot, just because I ran out of time. I'm doing school as well. It's kind of not on my main premise anymore like it was in the past, but on the games I do run, and that you can play on Linux, it's fantastic. In the same like Microsoft realm, I played on Windows and on Linux. I'm getting 20 to 30 more FPS just because the OS is running lighter. Is just a lighter install than Windows. My resource usage is fantastic because of this as well, and I have a custom water cooled system. So and my pump is kind of makes once my pump turns on, it gets like a screeching noise. So with Linux, I've barely heard that screeching noise at all, or that pump noise at all, because I'm using less resources and by that creating less heat. The hard truth about this is if you work in IT, cybersecurity, or tech in general, unless you're that like 10% that can use a Mac that uses Mac, or is just in like Linux that's using like that's able to use Linux, you're stuck with Microsoft in your life. I can't completely erase Microsoft, unfortunately, from my life and what I do on a day to day. That's kind of just the nature of the company I work at as well, because it is a Microsoft shop. But that separation between when I get home, I'm going to a Linux environment and a Linux desktop environment makes that switch easier to go into. I'm not in work mode anymore, and I'm on my personal time now. That's kind of the main reason why I switched to Linux. It's also made using Linux a lot better, because if you're watching this channel, you're probably trying to get into IT or cybersecurity, and you've had to run into Linux at some point. And learning a new S can be fun. It can be great, but when you get tasked with like a lab from school, or for like you need it for like a certification, you're kind of learning it on the spot and you're kind of feeling rushed about it. And that's not the best environment to straight up learning how to use this operating system. So, and using it in my like own personal life, in my own desktop, and just in my day to day, has made my more comfortability with it a lot better. That's kind of all I wanted to talk about Linux. It's a fantastic experience, and it's going to continue to get better and better. So now's the perfect time to switch. If you're on the fence about it and you're watching this, be like, hey, now's probably the time to switch if you're going to switch and get off Windows when you can. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been KM Tech, and I've been Kyle. We're going to be posting a lot more in the future. Matt and I have big plans for this channel, and we're going to be happy to continue it and keep it growing and keep it moving. Our passion for making video content has, I guess you can say, like, renewed, and we're very happy to making this again. We're a lot more organized this time, so we're not going to go through like dry spells of not knowing what to make or things like that. And we have at around 19 videos planned, 18, 19 videos planned, counting this current one. So look forward to what we're making in the future, and I'll see you guys next time.